everybody, this is Amy. It is going into winter again, and I think you know what that means. It is soup season, which is my favorite season of the year. Well, winter is anyway, because I like all the coziness and sweater weather and chilly temperatures and soup, of course. I am a soup head, if that's a thing. So we are continuing my winter soups on soup series, and we're starting here in December, and we were making a really, really simple soup, but I think it's a nice little twist on kind of kind of combining two classics. The soup that we're gonna make first is called Sopa de Fideo. So sopa in Spanish means soup, soup of noodles. Fideo is a special Mexican noodle that it's just like a little short, thin noodle. Now, if you can't find this, it actually was very easy to find, but if you cannot find Fideo, you can use vermicelli, thin spaghetti, break it up small, just the same. But basically, it is a toasted noodle and tomato chicken broth soup with some Mexican-style cheese swirled into it. So it's tomato noodle soup, really, guys. But just kind of like a fun twist, adding like the tomato aspect to the noodle aspect, you know, kind of like do this little hybrid thing. Real easy to make. So I've got my pot going here on kind of like a medium-high heat. The difference with this than with other soups that you use or with other pastas is I got some oil going in here. It's getting glistening, it's ready to fry. So I'm gonna basically fry these noodles. I want to get some gold color on them. You hear them go in. Yes, and you just stir them in the oil. And we let them toast and get brown. There are other, you know, if you ever use vermicelli, or honestly rice-a-roni, you know, you do this with those kind of noodles too. You put them in some oil, you give them some heat, and you let them toast up a little bit. It imparts like a nice little nutty flavor to your noodle. Don't let them burn. Don't let them get too dark, of course. You just want the noodles are already golden. We just want a little bit of color on them so they can become kind of nutty, which is a really nice flavor. The ingredients in this it's kind of funny. They're big container of chicken broth, couple shakes of garlic salt, 2 8-ounce cans of plain tomato sauce, Mexican style cheese. This is it. There is, oh yeah, these are becoming fried nice and quickly, if you can see, but there's some little toasty bits that you can see. I wouldn't leave these sitting. I'm gonna keep moving these around because this is something that could burn really, really fast, and there's no walking that back. You know, you just have to, if you burn these noodles, you're just gonna have to start over. I mean, you could fish out the burned ones, but you're probably gonna have just a burned taste also, and nobody wants that. You could add some other things to this if you were so inclined. I don't see why you couldn't add cooked, shredded, or diced chicken to it to make it more protein heavy and more meal-like. I've seen where some people add some sliced avocado on top at the end. That sounds nice too. Because it's just such a basic soup, you know, that if there were extra spices that you liked, you know, if you wanted to saute onion and have that in here, or I don't know what, stock it up with more veggies, wilt some spinach into this, you know, you could do that as well. This is really just kind of a nice base to build upon. But this is the original recipe as it is supposed to be. So I am making it just this way for today. I think this also is a really good one for like grown-ups and kids alike, because you know, kids love chicken noodle soup. I think some kids like tomato soup, you know, especially if it's like served with a sandwich or a grilled cheese. And, you know, let's face it, some tomato soup just tastes kind of like a big bowl of warm ketchup. So kids are going to like that. So I think this is good for all age groups, really. Okay, we've got some good color on there. Definite good browning. So I'm going to start adding the other things, okay? I'm going to add my... Hey, how about that? Maybe we'll turn that down a skosh. All right. That's great. That's a great sound anyway. 2 cans of tomato sauce. We're going to add our whole big box. This is less sodium only because I am not an anti-salt person at all. I use MSG and things. I am not afraid of salt, but I like to control it. So, you know, you get something chock full of salt, you can't control the level you want it to be at. And that's another thing that if you go too hard on, it's hard to pull back. So I prefer using something like this. And look, well, it calls for garlic salt, so we're putting more salt in anyway. You know me, I just eyeball it. You just gotta taste things, guys, and see, you know, what you think. Okay, here's the deal. This has to sit on a simmer for about 8 to 10 minutes, and then we stir in our cheese and we bowl it up. So I'm gonna leave you here, and we'll come back in a couple minutes when this is ready, get our cheese incorporated, and then we will show you the finished bowl of this. Thank you. Okay guys, we are back. We have let our Sopa de Fideo simmer for about 10 minutes here. So remember, we toasted those noodles off. We added chicken stock, tomato sauce, garlic salt, some regular salt and pepper. So now what I've got here is this tomato soup with these beautiful noodles inside of it. I turned the heat down now because what I'm gonna do is add in some cheese. I'm gonna probably whisk this in actually. It calls for a cup. I'm gonna do what my heart tells me to do. And sometimes my heart tells me to do more than that. So we'll just see. So I'm gonna start kind of small. We want to incorporate it. I like cheese in soup. I mean, unless you're topping your soup with cheese, which is also, of course, delicious. But I sort of like to put cheese in soup a little bit slowly so it doesn't just glob up, so you can kind of incorporate it slowly. You're not freaking out the heat of the soup or the cold of the cheese. Actually, this I've had sitting out for probably about an hour now, so it's about room temperature. I would suggest that, definitely. When you're adding anything dairy to a soup, or to anything hot, you should either temper it or you should let it sit to room temperature, like with heavy cream, something like that. You don't want to just go throwing that in there. It'll seize it up and it won't be that great. It could be better, right? And we want it to be better. Well, she looks nice. Let's see. I'm gonna do a little more black pepper because I like it. And isn't that what matters here? Gonna take a plastic spoon. Let me grab one. You have no idea how many plastic spoons you go through when you are a cook, because you got to throw everything away once you taste with it once, right? So another trick of the trade is you taste on your regular side. If you're doing a sauce or something, use the back of the spoon to taste again, so at least you get 2 uses out of it. Let's see. Well, that's good. That is so good. That is perfect. Check it for seasoning for yourself, you know, salt and pepper levels. That is delicious, though. I think that is perfect. Let's bowl some of this up. I'll show you. Look at that. I mean, it's cold. You want some beautiful, it's glistening from like some of the fat from that oil in there. It gives us a real nice, like, unctuous mouthfeel. And from the fat in the chicken stock. That is good, guys. And that was simple. That took 20 minutes start to finish. And that was like, maybe less. There's no prep. There is no prep. So I would definitely recommend this one. I'll be back in January with another soup video. Until then, happy holidays to everybody, and I'll see you next month. Thank you.